You know what keeps me up at night? It's not the losses. It's not even the controversial calls. It's watching everyone else talk about what could have been while completely missing what's happening right in front of us. And today, I need to address something that's been eating at me since Sunday's game against Philadelphia. Something that changes everything we thought we knew about the 2023 draft. Welcome to Bears News Fan Report, where you get the most up-to-date news, insider analysis, and all the rumors surrounding our beloved Chicago Bears. I'm here to cut through the noise and give you the truth about this team. And trust me, what I'm about to share with you today is going to make you see our roster in a completely different light. Before we dive in, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications because you don't want to miss a single update on this team. Now, let's get into it. There's been a conversation brewing in the Bears community for 2 years now, a debate that refuses to die. A what-could-have-been scenario that people keep bringing up every single time a certain defensive tackle makes a big play. And I'll be honest with you, I get it. I really do. When you see a generational talent doing generational things, it's natural to wonder. But here's what nobody's talking about. Here's what the national media is completely overlooking. And here's why I'm making this video today. Because what happened on Sunday wasn't just a game. It was a statement, it was validation, and it was proof that sometimes the quieter decision is the right decision. Let me take you back to April 2023. The Bears are sitting at pick number 9 after trading away the first overall selection to Carolina. The board is loaded with talent. 2 names are dominating every conversation, every mock draft, every analyst's big board. An edge rusher with elite potential and a defensive tackle who was being compared to Aaron Donald. These weren't just good players. These were guys who were supposed to be franchise-altering talents, the kind of prospects that make general managers look like geniuses or get them fired. And Chicago had a choice to make, a choice that would define this regime, a choice that people are still questioning today. But here's what most people don't understand about that moment. The Bears weren't just drafting for talent. They were drafting for need. They were drafting for culture. They were drafting for the long-term vision of what this team needed to become. And when you're trying to build something sustainable, something real, you can't just chase the shiny object. You have to be strategic. You have to be smart. And you have to trust your evaluation process even when the entire world is telling you to go in a different direction. So they made their pick. They selected an offensive tackle from Tennessee, a guy who didn't have the highlight reel of some other prospects, a guy who wasn't going to sell jerseys on draft night, a guy who represented the safe choice, the smart choice, the necessary choice. And immediately, the criticism started. Social media erupted. Fans questioned the decision. Analysts debated whether Chicago had missed an opportunity to land a defensive game wrecker. And I'll admit something to you right now, I had questions too. Not because I didn't believe in the player they selected, but because passing on that kind of defensive talent requires conviction. It requires belief. It requires seeing something that others might miss. Fast forward to today, and we need to have an honest conversation about how that decision looks now. Because the narrative has shifted, the data has come in, and the results are undeniable. When you look at the 2023 draft class at the offensive tackle position, 5 players were taken in the first round. 5 teams believed that securing their quarterback's blindside was worth a premium investment. And you know what? They were right. Because when you look at what happened on day 2 of that draft, the drop-off was severe. Only 2 offensive tackles were selected in rounds 2 and 3 combined. Those 2 players have started a combined 30 games out of a possible 82. That's the reality of that position in that draft class. If you wanted a starting caliber offensive tackle, you had to pay the price in round 1. Chicago paid that price, and the player they selected has become exactly what they needed him to be. Through 3 seasons, he's developed into one of the most consistent performers on this roster. He's been durable, starting games and providing stability on the right side of the offensive line. He's been reliable, giving the coaching staff confidence to build their protection schemes around his skill set. And most importantly, he's been improving. Year 1 was solid, Year 2 was better, and this year he's playing at an elite level. But the Bears still had that defensive tackle need, so what did they do? They went back to the board in round 2 and selected a defensive tackle from Florida with the 53rd overall pick. Now, is this player the same caliber of game wrecker as the guy they passed on in round 1? No, let's be completely honest about that. But he's been a full-time starter for 2 years. He's been a stabilizing presence in the middle of the defensive line. He's shown legitimate pass rush ability. And when you combine what these two players have given the Bears versus what they would have gotten with the alternative scenario, the math starts to make sense. Here's where the story gets really interesting. Sunday's game against Philadelphia. Our guys versus their guys. And specifically, our offensive tackle versus their defensive tackle. The one everyone said we should have drafted, the matchup everyone was watching. And what happened? Complete and total domination. Every single one-on-one rep went one way. Every time they matched up, there was only one winner. Our guy absolutely pancaked their guy. Not once, not twice. Multiple times throughout the game. It was the kind of performance that makes you realize we've been having the wrong conversation this entire time. The statistics from that game tell the story. On 40 pass-blocking snaps, our tackle allowed just 2 pressures. 2, against one of the best defensive lines in football. His run-blocking grade was elite level, a 73 according to the advanced metrics. And the team ran for 281 yards on the ground. That doesn't happen by accident. That happens because you have a dominant offensive line that's physically imposing their will on the defense. And the catalyst for that performance was the guy we drafted in 2023. Let me give you some context here. When offensive line coaches break down film, they talk about being violent and being physical. They talk about moving people. They talk about establishing dominance at the point of attack. And that's exactly what we saw on Sunday. Our offensive tackle wasn't just winning his matchups. He was erasing defenders. He was creating massive running lanes. He was giving the quarterback time to operate. He was doing everything you want from a first-round investment at that position. This is what elite offensive line play looks like. Now here's the thing that really matters. The Bears are 9-3. Let me say that again. 9-3. This team is in legitimate playoff contention. And you don't get to 9-3 without having the foundational pieces in place. You don't get to 9-3 with a weak offensive line. You don't get to 9-3 if your draft decisions from 2 years ago didn't pan out. The success this team is having right now is directly connected to the decisions made in that 2023 draft. The stability on the offensive line has been crucial. The development of young players has been essential. And the culture that's been built through smart, strategic drafting has created something special. Over the second half of this season, our offensive line has been one of the best units in football. And the most consistent player on that line? The guy they drafted 9th overall in 2023. He's been the anchor. He's been the tone setter. He's been everything this team needed him to be and more. When you watch the film, when you see how he's controlling the line of scrimmage, when you see how he's protecting the quarterback and opening holes in the run game, you realize that Chicago made the right call. They identified a need, they evaluated the talent, they made the pick, and they nailed it. So here's what I want you to take away from this. The debate is over. The what-ifs need to stop. The second-guessing needs to end. Because we have the answer now. We have 3 years of evidence, we have head-to-head matchups, we have team success. And all of it points to one conclusion. Darnell Wright was the right pick for the Chicago Bears in 2023. Not just a good pick, not just a solid pick, the right pick, the smart pick, the pick that's helping this team win football games right now. This is what good organizations do. They stick to their process. They trust their evaluations. They don't get swayed by public opinion or media narratives. They identify what they need, they go get it, and they develop it. And that's exactly what we're seeing with this Bears team. The foundation is being built the right way. The roster is being constructed with purpose, and the results are starting to show on the field. I want to hear from you. Do you agree that the Bears made the right call in the 2023 draft? Are you as impressed as I am with how Darnell Wright has developed? And where do you see this offensive line ranking among the best units in the NFL right now? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because this is a conversation worth having. This is the kind of discussion that makes our community stronger and helps us all appreciate what's being built here in Chicago. If you enjoyed this breakdown, if you appreciate the in-depth analysis, if you want to stay ahead of all the latest Bears news and rumors, make sure you subscribe to Bears News Fan Report. Hit that like button, smash that notification bell, and join the community of passionate fans who refuse to settle for surface-level coverage. We're here every single day, bringing you the insights, the analysis, and the truth about this team. Don't miss out. I'll see you in the next one. Bear down.